everyone, and welcome back to Conquering Algebra 2. This is lesson 31. A couple of concepts that we're going to talk about here. We've already learned how to find the equation of a line when we have parallel lines. Now we're going to talk about finding the equation of the line when the second line given is perpendicular, not parallel. So that does mean there's a change in slope. But before we get to that, we need to talk about negative reciprocals. So we already know how to find the reciprocal of all of these numbers. We just flip the numerator and denominator. But when we're talking about the negative reciprocal, that just means we're going to add a negative. So a normal reciprocal for this would be 5 over 2. But the negative reciprocal would be negative 5 over 2. The reciprocal for 1/3 would be 3 over 1. Or we can just say 3. But the negative reciprocal will be negative 3. The reciprocal for negative 4/3 or negative 3/4 would be negative 4/3. But if we're talking about the negative reciprocal, it's going to be positive 4/3. So we change the sign. And then the same thing with negative 2, this would be positive 1/2. So we're going to do the reciprocal and we're also going to change the sign. That's how we do the negative reciprocal. Okay, so now let's talk about finding the equation of a line when the other line given is perpendicular. Okay, so our practice problem for this is write the equation of the line that is perpendicular to y equals 2/5 x minus 3 and passes through the point 3, 2. So we're still going to be working with y equals mx plus b. And we still need to find n and b, our slope and our y-intercept. We already know our slope because they tell us two things. One, they tell us the slope of the other line. They also tell us that it's perpendicular. So when they tell us about a perpendicular line, we're going to take the slope and we're going to do the negative reciprocal. So our slope is going to be 5 over 2, but this is positive, so we need to change the sign. So it's negative 5 over 2. So we're halfway done. Now we need to find b. We know that our new line is going to cross through the point 3, 2. So that tells me I have an x of 3 and I have a y of 2. And with these three numbers, I can plug it into y equals mx plus b, and I can solve for my slope-intercept. So 2 equals negative 5 over 2 times 3 plus b. And so we end up with negative 15 over 2 plus b. I'm going to turn this into 4 over 2. That way it's already ready for me once I move this over. We're going to add 15 over 2 to both sides of our equation. Okay, so these are gone and we're left with b equals 19 over 2. So there's my slope, or there's my y-intercept. So now I can write the equation of my line. Y equals, instead of m, I'm going to write negative 5 over 2. X, and then instead of b, I'm going to put 19 over 2. Okay. So this is the equation of my perpendicular line. If you ever want to double check your work to make sure that it's right, you can always take both of these equations and plug them into your calculator and graph them and watch that intersection. Does that intersection look like it just made 4 right angles? If it doesn't, maybe we did go wrong somewhere with our slope. All right, so that's how to find the equation of a perpendicular line. Okay, and the last concept in this lesson is talking about remote interior angles. And so what they want us to remember is that when we're dealing with angles inside and outside of a triangle, these two angles right here, this is a dotted line. This line does not actually exist, but this angle right here is called the exterior angle. And the way you find it is it will be the supplementary angle to C. So you just imagine that it keeps going in a straight line. And what your book wants us to do is they want us to prove that the exterior angle is going to equal the sum of the other two interior angles that are not being used. These are called the remote interior angles for angle C. So we know that all three angles are going to equal 180. So A plus B plus C equals 180. We also know that angles C plus E will equal 180. So because they both equal 180, we can set these two equations equal to each other. So A plus B plus C equals C plus E. And since they both have positive C, we can just cancel those out. So we see that A plus B equals E. So a shortcut to finding our exterior angles is if they ever do give us angles A and B, we can just add them together and we'll automatically know that it will equal that. So it does save us a little bit of time if we do already know this stuff, but they may not always give us angle C. All right, and that's it for lesson 31. I hope this was really helpful for you guys. If there's any questions that you have, be sure to leave them in the comments below. I'd love to help out in any way that I can. Be sure to subscribe so that way you get notifications as we continue to add new videos to this playlist. And then also, if this was helpful, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if this was helping you guys out. And to my Algebra 2 students, I'll see you guys in class.